Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's Local Chat, episode 244. I'm your host, Will Crosby. Joining me this week, one Ian Gibson.
Hello. Hi, good morning.
And you can't stop him, Godzilla.
That's right. Can I tell you a quick Godzilla story? That's going to sound stupid, but for me was a little bit cathartic.
You sure it's going to be quick?
It's pretty quick. So you know how like the Japanese call Godzilla Gojira? And I was always like, do they really like it? Sounds
a little bit harder.
That's the thing, is it sounds a little racist. And then I learned hiragana and katakana, and I went to Japan. I went to the Godzilla store and I was like, oh, Gojira. That's how they spell it in Japanese. It's Gojira. And I was like, oh, it's not a racist stereotype. That's just his name in Japanese. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
At Improv last night, we did a game called Genres, which you've probably seen on on
think so,
Who's
yeah.
Line, where they're doing a scene, they pause it and do a different genre, which is super fun. But Ryan was saying, he's like, oh, we're going to get suggestions from the crowd, and then I'll take them and then shout them out at the right times, because he said at one of them, someone shouted out to do a Charlie Chan movie. And nobody, it's funny too, because nobody knew what Charlie Chan was, he said, at that show. And then yesterday, no one but like me and a couple older people knew what Charlie. And I was like, yeah, Charlie Chan, a Chinese detective movie series, not played by a Chinese man.
Not played by a Chinese man.
It might still be the most.
Pretty good.
There were like, I remember, you remember bathroom readers? You ever have those?
Yes.
We had a ton of them.
Phones now.
Yeah, we had great joke. Just stand up set. We had the Hollywood one, and I remember one of the facts in it was that Charlie Chan was the longest running movie series. There were like 30 or 40 films in it.
Oh my God.
All of those are probably horribly bad now.
Yeah, well, it's been supplanted by the Red series on Netflix, which is also a money laundering scheme.
Oh, yes, of course. Or the, what is it? Everyone talks about The Descendants. It's like that Disney, it's like a Disney series with like, I don't know, fucking magic and shit. But it makes me think of the George Clooney film.
Yeah, I was about to say
that's what I think of. I'm like,
like,
there's so many of those movies, but it's a completely separate series.
There's a lot of plots of Land on Hawaii that need to be sold, and every one is its own movie.
And then I always see those. It's like zombie something on Disney Plus. They're like these. They're always in like the top, like most popular this week, and they're like these zombie. It's like the fourth zombie film. It's like It's like all like high school kids. It's essentially what Disney Channel movies were for us. So it's like,
gotcha.
It makes sense why they're here, but I'm like, these sound like garbage. Speaking of garbage, Ian and I went with some friends, including my wife and a friend of the pod, John, to Comedy Bang Bang, live in New York City. It was awesome. It was very funny. I haven't laughed like that in a long time. Did you have fun?
It was great. I had a lot of fun. I wish those shows were at 8 a.m. so I didn't have to walk around the city and get tired. So I didn't have to fly in, walk around the city all day, get very tired, and then sit in a tiny theater seat for 2 hours at the end of the day. I knew that was coming, and so I took ibuprofen with me and all this stuff. And but yeah, it was a great show. It's been a while since I've seen a live show though, and why don't they make theaters nicer?
It was so hot in there.
It was probably about 80 in there, and the seats were like old school theater seats in terms of like leg space, where basically I think for both of us, our knees were touching the seat in front of us. And then I don't mean to distract from the show, but I was fidgeting a lot because I was anxious.
Me too.
But then I was also like, I started to feel like cramps start to come on. So I had to keep shifting my legs because I was like, I can't get a bad cramp in this position and just like shoot up in the middle of a show and be like,
I kept shifting around, and I kept saying to myself, man, Ian's not shifting around at all. He must be so strong, so I must not have noticed you shifting around, but I was constantly
shifting around a lot.
And that lady in front of me, her hair for a while kept touching my legs, and then she put her hair up.
That's nice.
And then
sorry.
Yeah, I didn't have a boner anymore. And then occasionally she would like lean back, and her like shoulder would touch my knee, and I'd be like, "No, I'm married."
I think the best part about this, though, this is a very subpixel way to talk about something, which is that we both loved the show. It was great, but all we could do is bitch about the experience of it, which is not their fault at all. But anyways, Comedy Bang Bang, just for people who haven't listened to it, it is an improv comedy podcast hosted by Scott Ackerman, and he basically has people come onto the show, celebrities and comedians, and he also does a good job of like discovering smaller comedians as well, and they each come on and they play a character, and it's like long form improv. So for the podcast, the episodes are usually an hour 30. The live shows are usually closer to 2 hours, and for this one they had 6 guests come on. So Paul F. Tompkins was with him. Also had Edie Patterson, Ego Wodum, and then Connor Ratliff, and Mike Hanford played John Lennon, and then I forgot the other person. That was the first time I'd seen what was it, G.I. Barbie or something. But yeah, it was so good. It was a very good show.
I didn't know the lady who played the 17-year-old is 51.
Oh, Edie Patterson?
Yeah. That's why I thought that was like a 20-year-old down there. I guess we were pretty far away, but
she was
like
moving
the way
around a
she
lot.
moved was like very young.
Yeah.
It was a great show. It was very funny. I've always wanted to see Paul F. Tompkins live. So it was
same.
Really neat. And that pub we went to beforehand was really nice. I enjoyed it there. It was
a nice little pub.
Patrick and Quinn's.
I forget, but it was on like 41st and 5th or something like that.
Yeah.
But as part of that trip, I did get to take a little test spin of a device that I have shown off on the Discord. This is the first time I actually got to use it. That's right, folks. The XTE Inc. X4, which is this little guy right here. Camera's not going to focus it, but as you can see, it's pretty small. It's about the size of a little bit bigger than a computer mouse. But this is an e-reader, and it's thinner than a phone, and this thing is fucking great for travel. Why I really wanted to get this was for situations like going to New York or traveling or whatever, where I'm like, hey, I know there's going to be a lot of downtime, like, waiting in line to board the plane, waiting for the train, sitting on the train, traveling from Brooklyn to New York, all that kind of stuff. And there's all sorts of downtime and things like that. And I was like, man, I would love to be able to have my book with me, basically, and to get some reading done. And this guy just fits right in your pocket. It's super tiny. It's super light. I even printed this little like reversible cover at a 3D printed cover at a Pet G, so that I can it literally just slides onto it and protects the screen, because it is an e-ink screen. It's not going to have Gorilla Glass on it and stuff. So I like put a screen protector on it, and I put this on there. And that first day being in New York, I didn't do any reading on the plane. So it was literally just travel transit reading in terms of like waiting for a train, being on the train, sitting on a park bench for 10 minutes. I got like 120 pages of reading done.
Hell yeah.
In terms of like real pages by my calculation, like 120 pages of the book. And it's so good. This is like $70 on Amazon. It goes on sale every now and then. They have an even smaller one if you want. They also sell it with a magnetic ring if you want a magnetic attached to the back of your phone. That didn't quite make sense for me. Yeah, one that's like a 1/2 inch smaller diagonal screen. The one thing I would say is, for this guy, if this is your first e-reader, I don't know that I would recommend it for that, because for me, this is too small to be my main e-reader. It also doesn't have a backlight, which kind of sucks.
I didn't think about that.
It's really for portability, but it's fantastic for travel, because now when I travel, it's just in my pocket the whole time, and I barely notice it's there. And I don't have to take my big Kindle, and I don't have to take a bag for my Kindle. But I do think my Kindle is still my at-home e-reader if I'm going to be using an e-reader, because it's larger and it has a backlight. I will say I was worried about the screen size, because the screen size is like 4 inches, I think, diagonal, but the resolution on it is great. And I got there's all sorts of community firmware that's made for it. And so I downloaded this specific firmware that lets you get even tinier font sizes. So I know the screen looks tiny, and the font looks tiny, but it's really the same size font, like, Will, you saw it. It's about the same size font as like a mass market paperback, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like the text isn't smaller than that, and it's just as legible. So it's basically like paperback font, and it's fantastic. Highly recommend it. I'm glad I got to take it for a spin. I've got some more travel coming up in the next couple months, so I'm excited to use it for then as well. It's just like those little moments where you're like, I'm waiting for something. Let me just fucking doom scroll for a second on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
He got rid of those. It was great. It makes you feel so much more productive.
That's
Love
great.
it. That's
yeah.
the XTE Ink X4. It's XTE Ink is all one word. X4 is the one I've got, and X3 is the smaller one.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I did it. Unfortunately, folks, it happened. I can't undo it. I bought a steam machine.
I feel so conflicted about this because I don't want to be mean to you.
It's
I
a
feel
nightmare.
like you've made a mistake. I feel like you've made a mistake here. I feel like you have made a mistake here. But hey, you can't reverse it, right?
I can't reverse it. It's literally impossible. But
and I do think it would be scummy to try and turn around and sell this.
Yes, 1000%. Also,
so you just got to live with it. And I think from now, it's just enjoy it, but also maybe don't. Because it's one of those things where it's like, if you bought a $1,500 thing, I would be like, wow, that's expensive. But this doesn't even feel like it's worth $1,500, unfortunately.
Yeah, it like,
you know.
And I really wanted to buy the 512, but they sent me the email and they said, hey, bud, we upgraded you to the 2 terabyte. I went,
because the 512, what's the 512 with the controller? 11?
It's like 11 something.
50?
Yeah.
And I believe a 2 terabyte NVMe is around 200 right now. So that would have put you at 1350. So you could have saved $100. You wouldn't have gotten the faceplates, but you could have saved $100 by getting the 512 plus the drive. But no, I get it. I did the same thing. I was like, I should sign up for one of these. I'm not gonna be able to buy it anyways, but I just want to know what it feels like to win the lottery, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna sign up for the 2 terabyte because of the faceplates and the larger drive and all that. Yeah. I mean, I should say I have a Steam machine because folks, when the Steam machine came out, they also said, hey, Steam OS is now available on non-Steam OS devices. And here's the install image for it. And I immediately installed that on my Steam machine, which is an old PC I have in my living room. And let me start with the bad, which is that when they said you can install Steam machine on any device, here's the install image. They're fucking liars. And let me tell you why. You put it on between the two of us, we have probably installed thousands of OSs at this point. That may be an exaggeration, but it's got to be hundreds of times that we've installed an OS, whether that's Windows or Linux. You know, I think I've even installed Mac OS once or twice. Here's the thing, though. They have you put it on a thumb drive, normal. They have you put it in your computer and boot it, normal. Although I will say, it took me like 20 minutes to be able to reliably boot into that thumb drive because the PC launches and it shows you the splash screen and it's like press F10 to go into the BIOS or whatever, right? Problem is that the PC is hooked up to the TV. So by the time the TV recognizes that the PC is putting out an output, and shows you what button to press, it's too late and you can't press that button anymore. It's like one of the things about having a PC hooked up to a TV is the PC wants you to press a button immediately and the TV's not going to show you that button until too late. So I had to like figure that out and realize it and just start like looking at computer lights and hammering the button. But anyways, so I got in there. The installer is not an installer. It just boots you into desktop Linux running off the USB. And it has like 3 icons. And one of them is like reinstall SteamOS. So you double click that and it launches a terminal with a command. And the command starts to run. And it has a little dialog box that says, are you sure you want to install SteamOS and wipe the drive? And I'm like, what drive? It doesn't show a GUI. It doesn't show you a fucking, here's your list of drives. Here's your 3 drives. Here's this drive 1, drive 2. Oh, this one has a partition. Do you want to wipe the partition or do you want to put it in a partial partition? It doesn't show you any of that. The SteamOS installer by default tries to install on your first NVMe installed. NVMe. So if you have a SATA installed, like a SATA SSD, like I do, it doesn't even work. The installer flat out does not work if you try and install on anything other than your first NVMe. And I have one NVMe slot in that machine, and it's my Windows OS. And so the first thing I did was I shut down the computer and I pulled that NVMe because I was like, I don't want you going over my Windows. I want to dual boot here. So I pulled that NVMe out, booted it back up. It took me like 45 minutes. There's people who have like GitHubs. There's people who are like edit this config file. There's people who are like run this command. But I had to like alter the SteamOS installer just to get it to install on the drive I wanted to. It did not present the most basic. I don't know about you, Will, but I feel like every fucking time I've installed any fucking OS, they always say, here's a list of drives. Here's your drives. Which one do you want to install it on? I've never not had that option. And SteamOS was just like, no, we're going to by default try and install it on your NVMe. And if you don't have an NVMe, then we error out, and that's it, period. So I had to alter the config file in like multiple places to get it to install to the SATA drive. Like I had to map it to that. Anyways, I got it installed. Then it goes to try and, when it first launches, it's like, welcome to SteamOS. What language? We're going to look for an update. We found an update. We're going to install the update. Fuck you. We can't install this update. And I'm pretty sure it was the same drive error problem. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I had to go online again for another 45 minutes and go through forums. And finally somebody was like, oh, if you, I swear to God, I'm pretty sure he was like, oh no, there was two options. One option was, hey, if you just like hammer the delete key like 50 times really fast, for some reason that bypasses the update. And I tried that. I couldn't get it to work. And then they were like, okay, press this command code to go into the terminal underneath the update window and enter this command to alter the configuration so that it thinks the update succeeded. And then you can boot into it and do the update that way. So long story short, like they say SteamOS can be installed on other machines, and it can, but they have massive amounts of work to, well, not massive amounts. They have the most basic, simple fucking work that they need to do that they still have not done to make it an actual installer. If you try and install that on anything that doesn't have an NVMe as its priority drive that you want SteamOS to go on there, you're going to have a bitch of a time trying to get it to work. That being said, it runs really well. It's pretty good. It's better than Bazite, because Bazite, I feel like, has more stuff on top of it. And so even though Bazite boots directly into Steam, you can still feel like there's stuff in the background going on and slowing it down, whereas it feels like with SteamOS, it boots right into it. That being said, the interface is the same, because Bazite is just running SteamOS big picture mode. I mean, Steam big picture mode, whereas SteamOS is running Steam big picture mode. It works pretty well. Still have some wonkiness with some games not running quite well, even though they say they should, or games being like first launch takes like 3 minutes of loading because it's doing shit in the background. But yeah, having Steam on the PC is pretty nice. So I'm excited to see how much you like the Steam machine and how much that experience is different from just having it on a PC. Are you excited for the Steam machine? Because hey, here's the thing.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, you can't take it back, so now you might as well enjoy it.
And to be fair, every piece of technology I've bought within the past 5 years has only gone up in price. So
yes,
so I'm not too worried about anything. I mean, especially with the news, with all the Xbox news and the PlayStation news, of being like, I'm more being like, okay, I'm glad, not that I'm, the physical stuff aside, but it's like, okay, I feel like my digital library under Steam is a little bit more rock solid than my digital stuff under Sony and Xbox right now. So like I feel a little more comfortable be like, okay, when the next consoles come out, I can be like more like pick and choose, be like, okay, now that I have Steam in the living room, I can start getting, like, I haven't even touched 007 First Light in a while, because I hate playing that game at my computer. It is not, to me, a computer game. It is like,
how did you buy it on the computer?
First Light? Well, I got it through Fanatical with a discount code. So it's like, it's like, I'm not going to pay $70 on the Xbox. I'll pay whatever, the $50, $40
that's here. Fair, because I was just going to say that this may apply to you, but I just keep reminding people, Xbox Play Anywhere. I bought an Xbox copy and I have it on PC and console. Yes. It's fucking great. I understand going with Fanatical for the discount, but like, it's funny. You're totally right. Having your Steam library at the TV is a great thing to have, But again, I have to give props to Xbox because they have really reduced that argument with the Xbox Play Anywhere, which
Yeah,
a lot of the
1000%.
titles now are buy it and it's PC and console. You don't have to decide anymore.
My default purchasing console is the Xbox. Like, I have everything saved on there. I love playing my Xbox, and it will probably remain my default console. But the fact that I can get so many deals on games and have them on the Steam machine now and in my living room, plus all the MU Deck stuff I can have on that Steam machine. I can play all sorts of games with Karen and like be able to be like and have that library there where we can play anything at any time and have fun. And then that means I can put my stuff in other places. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sort of happy I got the 2 terabytes because now I don't have to worry about storage space that much. I don't have to buy an extra SD card for the MU Deck stuff because fucking SD cards are expensive right now. Which is they're not expensive really, but they're way expensive compared to their price a year ago. I paid $15 for a 128 of October last year, and they're like $55 now. I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, I'm really excited to check it out. And plus, I get a Steam controller, and I don't have to wait a year for a Steam controller, and I get to test that out. And I'm kind of just set with that.
Steam controller, by the way, I'm curious to hear you on this because I've been following the Steam controller, Steam machine. I don't want to say controversy, but kind of the argument where people are like, Steam machine's overrated, and then some people are like, oh, Steam machine's great. And one of the things they've really landed on is if you build your own Steam machine, you're not gonna get Wake the computer with your controller, and you're not gonna get HDMI CEC. And the controller thing, you can work around that. There's ways to work around that, and I understand that being a thing. The HDMI CEC feels like such a fucking nothing argument that every time I see it, I get a little bit infuriated. Do you know what they mean by HDMI CEC? Because I had to look it up to double check.
I don't.
How would you describe it?
Well, it's just when you turn the console on, it turns the TV on, it goes to the HDMI input, and you're set to go.
Yeah.
It commands everything. My problem is all my inputs are on a switcher on one HDMI, so it doesn't tell the switcher to switch, which is my issue with that. So I really don't care that if it has that.
And mine, yeah, exactly. And I keep mine off because I think the one time I tried to use it, I had consoles that would steal it. That would send a CEC while they were in sleep trying to update. And I was like, I'm just gonna. It's like what 3 button presses to like home, right button, select to change the input. Like it's not that complicated, people. Like I understand the power on is nice because you don't have to walk across and turn it on.
It would make sense.
Yeah. So maybe it's just for poor people then. No, but yeah. So it's just really weird. I think what I've really landed on with the Steam machine is it seems like a really nice device. I do think if it was $500, I feel like it would be perfect. I'm talking about base model 512.
Yeah.
If it was $500, I feel like it would be perfect, right? Where they're like, hey, it's a little underpowered, but it's your Steam library. It's a known hardware point. It comes with a controller. If it was $750, I would be like, I understand price increases. But the fact that this is not their fault, but the fact that they had to go to a 1000 makes it a luxury device when it is not a luxury device performance. Like it's slightly worse than a base PS5. And it's just like such a fucking shame that they had to come out in this market at these price points.
Yeah. Like you're saying, if there would be no arguments over it at all if it was at the price pre-RAM apocalypse, for sure. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any nitpicking on it. And if you remove the price from the situation, like there's zero nitpicking. Like it's an awesome device. It's going to do exactly what like a ton of people want a PC in the living room to do, and that's what I'm most looking forward to.
For me. Somebody who's not going to buy the device, let's be honest, because I can't spend that money. I can't spend that money. I do want to see Steam OS install get a little bit easier and better. But if I had any money, what I would be going down is I would love to build my own Steam machine. It doesn't have to be the same size, but it needs to be smaller than a normal tower, so it fits in a home theater console, because mine right now is a normal tower. It stands next to it. It's ugly as shit and it's loud as shit. But I feel like you could you could build a Steam machine that has a full-size 2-slot PCIe so that you could easily upgrade the GPU as you go, because I think that's one of the weak points on the Steam machine. But get a newer AMD CPU so you get the RDNA 4, which my CPU unfortunately doesn't have, and build a Steam machine that's a little bit bigger, but makes it easy for you to continue to upgrade it like a normal gaming PC. Because you can upgrade the RAM and the storage on the Steam machine, but you can't upgrade the CPU or the GPU. And I feel like if you could just build your own Steam machine that lets you upgrade those and let you have kind of a better basis and make the SteamOS install a little bit easier, you could really have something. If I had money, that's what I would be doing right now. And honestly, just as a throw aside, something I've wanted to do for a couple of years now, and this would have been a good excuse to do it. But again, I don't have the money to do this right now. I really want to design and 3D print my own PC case. It really wouldn't be that hard. It would be a big project, a lot of parts and things and getting them together, but I could totally do it. And I feel like I could make a good Steam machine type thing that's, like, I don't know, maybe like 14 inches wide, 6 inches tall, like 14 inches deep, like a VCR size, almost like a thick VCR that would slide into a console space and have those removable parts. I was like, man, I could totally do this, but I just don't have the money to buy the hardware to make that right now. Otherwise I would. I feel like the parts around my place and the 3D printed case, I feel like I could make a pretty good up-powered Steam machine facsimile for like $800, because I really would just need motherboard, PSU, maybe RAM. I think I've got DDR4 you can use, and then the CPU, and then stuff like that, and then the GPU I've gotten stuff like that. So that's why I think Steam Machine looks like a fantastic device. It's unfortunate it comes out at this price, but it's not their fault. But I think for people that want the Steam Machine but know it's too expensive, start looking at SteamOS and start thinking about like, hey, maybe my gaming PC I should dual boot into SteamOS, or maybe I should think about building a home theater PC like we used to and put SteamOS on that. I think that's a good middle ground option of, I want the SteamOS, I want the Steam TV experience, but I want it to be a little bit cheaper and a lot more upgradable so that I can either make it similarly powered today or even more powerful in the future as prices hopefully drop.
Mm-hmm, totally. Yeah, I'll there'll be some reporting on it once I get it, and I'll do some streams on it probably. Have it show it off, and I'm excited for it. Yeah,
we can do a stream. I was just thinking, does that stream work? Because it's just SteamOS, so like it's like
more of just like a hardware stream. Like
we can do like a performance stream.
It'd also be
I think
nice
a stream on the controller.
Yeah,
could be interesting.
Yeah, more of a hardware stream. I also need to do a hardware stream because this boy came.
Oh, yeah. Oh, with the drive too.
We're so happy. Wow. I booted it once and it's just a Mister. So then I unbooted it and I put in my Mister SD card from my actual Mister. And I haven't booted it up again, but all Googling and talking to Grub and Sean and stuff, it should just boot up into that.
Yeah, it's just your Mister.
So, and this has all the RAM I need for all the consoles and stuff. Plus, I could put PS1 discs into it. Suppose I haven't Googled it, but I assume I could put other consoles discs into it and have them read into.
What would you put, like Saturn? Because doesn't Mister
like
top
Saturn.
Out at some point?
I can't do Xbox or Dreamcast or anything like that. But this is well built. I really like the build quality. It has so many ports on it, it's insane.
Yeah.
Also, the disk drive has an HDMI out. There's also component out. There's S-Video out. There's VGA out. There's
I love enthusiast hardware because they're like, we know the space, we know what people want, and we're just gonna throw it at it.
Look at that. Look, there's like fucking dip switches
component
in there.
Oh hell yeah. Probably for audio routing, maybe.
Yeah, and all this shit. Yeah, I'm excited to play around with it. It's cool. Yeah, it's a nice piece of hardware that I pre-ordered.
I can't wait
2 years ago.
I can't wait for their nice UI to come out because nothing against Mister, but I don't want to have to dick around in a Mister type menu anymore. Like, especially if I'm buying a device like that, I'm like, Give me a nice UI, folks. We got like MU Station and stuff that give you nice UIs on a $30 handheld. Like, give me a nice UI. I don't need to dick around in a Mister.
There's something about the Mister full file structure that not file structure, but UI that I love. It feels like a command prompt menu.
Yeah. If I was building my own Mister, yes. But the fact that I'm buying what feels like a finished device like that and getting the Mister menu feels like a slap in the face. That's the thing to me.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's all the updates I've got. There's nothing else. Oh, I did reset. Oh, that's the other cool thing. The Superstation just came with an awesome remote that works with it.
Oh, that's I'm pretty sure that's like,
which is great.
I think that's just the cheap generic remote because that's the same remote that came with the OSSC.
It's great.
Yeah.
My Steam Deck was being shitty, and it was like I was trying to. Basically, I'd installed EmuDeck, put all the games on there, and then all like the non-Steam games had compiled in, and then I uninstalled EmuDeck because I wanted to reset it, and nothing was getting rid of them from the EmuDeck from the non-Steam game thing. And I was like, fuck. And it was like, someone's like, oh, you can go into Steam ROM Manager and mass delete them there, or you can delete them one at a time in the OS. So I was like, okay, let me do Steam ROM Manager. And then it's like, oh, where are your Steam stuff? And I'm like, it's this. I looked it up and I was like, it's this folder. Folder did not exist on the Steam Deck. And I'm in the desktop mode. I can't find it. And I'm like, it's like, fuck this. And I was like, I can't just like factory reset this thing. And then I was like, wait, why can't I factory reset this thing? All of it is Steam Cloud saves. So I just factory reset it. Took about 5 minutes. Just scanned the QR code to sign back in, downloaded a couple games. It's all the stuff's removed, perfectly reinstalled SteamOS. I'm like, hell yeah. Thank you for being easy.
The install's quick. Yeah, because it's probably the exact same install process we went through. Yeah.
So I like all the stuff's removed, and now my Steam Deck's good as new again, and I don't have to deal with all that bullshit, as I like to call it. Speaking of bullshit, it's time to talk about the video games we've been playing. Do you want me to go first, or do you want you to go first?
I'm gonna go first. I've been playing a couple games. Steam sale's on, so I picked up some games on Steam sale. One of the games of which is called TR49. This is a puzzle game that came out earlier this year. Got some really good reviews. I believe Save Data played it and recommended it for us as well. The basic premise is that you are Abby, and there is a man on the radio, and you wake up in the basement of the Manchester Cathedral, and it's been like destroyed, but you're in front of this weird machine. And the machine lets you put in four digit. Sorry, I want to say four letters. It's not 4 letters.
You got this.
It's not 4 numbers. It's a 4-space alphanumeric code. The first 2 have to be letters. The second 2 have to be numbers. And when you do that, it goes to that page in the database. So, for example, TR49 is the main menu, and then you could say like, DM72, and it takes you to, if that page exists, it takes you to DM72. And the pages by default, most of them are scrambled, and then but you can usually start to pick some. The pages are scrambled, but there's usually notes that have been added by previous people that have used the computer, and the notes are like, oh, this reminds me of a time in summer. And you click on a time in summer, and it's like, oh, so there's a book called The Time in Summer in this database somewhere. And then as you go through the database, you get more codes that are pages that are entries. And the database entries are basically books or pamphlets that have been scanned into the database. And you have to match the title to what page it is. So, A Time in Summer is ST32. And it goes, oh, and then it unscrambles the entry and you get more information. So it's like this database web. And you're trying to kind of go through it and pick apart the pieces and be like, I don't know what this is saying. Oh, this is related to this. Oh, this mentions an Arthur, and there's an Arthur over here. And you're trying to put these pieces together. And as you're doing that, you're kind of understanding the story of the world around you, the story of this computer, the story of the people who have previously touched this computer and have left notes in it. And it's pretty interesting. It's pretty good. It didn't quite blow me away because parts of the puzzle I don't know. Making a puzzle a puzzle game is super hard, right? Because you don't want the solution to be super easy. You don't want it to be super hard. You want the solution to be gettable, but you also want it to be gettable in a way that makes sense, right? So like Case of the Golden Isle was fantastic about this. But then there's other games like this where sometimes you get a solution, you're like, oh, you really wanted me to, from this one page, infer this one thing and then go back here. The game also has like an automatic note taking section where like the first time you encounter somebody's name, you get a page with their name. You have like a notebook and it says like Arthur. And then it has these like cool, clever things it does that it never really explains, but you kind of figure out where like, so the first time you do Arthur, it gives you a page that's like Arthur, and then it shows an image of him, but he's like sketched out. And the sketch tells you that you know him, but you don't know everything about him. But then as you uncover once you uncover everything, like he's got 3 things in the database. Once you find all 3 of them and identify them, then his sketch becomes a photo to tell you like, hey, this person's complete. And they do little things like that to basically tell you like, hey, you've gone down this branch long enough. But sometimes the way the branches connect to each other, or sometimes the leaps they want you to make in logic don't feel super great. They're not terrible, but it's not it's not an aha moment. It's like a okay moment, you know, when you finally solve something. Yeah. But it's like a $4 or $5 game. If you're into those style of games, definitely check it out. It's really good. I think it took me about 3 or 4 hours, but there were some parts where I got a little, I don't want to say stuck, but there's times where you have like 4 or 5 open mysteries in front of you and you start chasing down these branches, and the notebook doesn't do a super good job of keeping track. Not that it should, but part of me was like, I probably should have pulled out a piece of paper at some point and started tracking this stuff, because you could be on one branch and get a clue for a different branch, and you hop over to the different branch and you chase that a little bit, and then you lose where you are and you forget how to get back, and you forget like you were pulling out one mystery and then you got distracted over here. And so I definitely wasted probably 30 or 40 minutes of that game, like context switching on accident as I'm trying to pull these threads and like distracting myself. So, you know, maybe take some notes while you're playing this game just to help you be like, oh yeah, there's something on this page that's tied to this page, and that's how I tied into that. So yeah, that's really good. The other game I've been playing this for a while, and it's still up there, was the highest rated game on Steam this year, called Creature Kitchen. Have you heard of Creature Kitchen, Will?
Whoa, I have not.
I believe I heard about this first from Mary Kish, and then I went to SteamDB. One of the things I've been trying this year is going to SteamDB, and there's a chart you can get to, and I don't know how to get there other than Googling SteamDB highest rated games. But there's a chart on SteamDB where you can literally just sort all the games on Steam by their user review percentage, and then filter it by this year. So I basically, every now and then I look and I say, for all the games that came out in 2026 on Steam, which one has the highest percentage of positive user reviews? And Creature Kitchen is almost always near the top. I've only played about an hour of this game. It's a little spooky. It's got a PS1 vibe to it. Mm-hmm. It's a little spooky, but it's not scary. It's spooky, not scary. But basically the premise is that you have, you're staying at somebody's cabin. I think it's a friend of yours, maybe a relative, I'm not sure. You're staying at this cabin, and as you're staying at this cabin, these creatures show up, and they're basically like, you know, like there's a raccoon under the porch, and you have a camera and you have a book, and the book is like, there's like 16 creatures here. And if you take a picture of the raccoon, then it's like, oh, this raccoon, you know, if you feed him well enough, he'll give you something. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, what does he like? And I think for the raccoon, it was like he likes 2 different sandwiches. So you're in the kitchen, so you have to make a sandwich, and you're finding ingredients and recipes. So you have recipe cards. And so it's like peanut butter jelly sandwich. And it's like, okay, loaf of bread, slice up. It's like 2 slices of loaf of bread, peanut butter, and jam. And the jam is strawberry plus sugar in the mixer. So you're like strawberry and sugar in the mixer, and you mix it up. And then all the cooking's done in the oven, which is really nice. So basically you just put all the ingredients into the oven and close the oven, and it makes what you want. And so it's like, okay, strawberry and sugar in the mixer, mix it up, gives you jam. And then you put jam, peanut butter, cut up the bread, 2 slices of bread in the oven, close it up, comes out. it's a sandwich, peanut butter jelly sandwich. Then you take the peanut butter jelly sandwich down to the raccoon, give it to the raccoon eats it, and he's like, thanks. You give him 2 sandwiches, he gives you a key. You pick up the key, and one of the locks in the house starts like being like, ooh, to tell you which one it is. And you go use the key, and you open the key, and it's the cupboard that has cheese in it. So now you got cheese, and you're like, great. So now any recipes that need cheese, you can use them with. It sounds very simple, but it's great atmosphere. It's cutesy. It's cutesy spooky, which I think is hard to hit. But it hits it pretty well. And it's got some good gameplay mechanics where in terms of like pacing, because like, as you can imagine, a lot of stuff is locked, but you're kind of like, you can do any of these creatures in any order, but each of them is like a little bit of a mystery, right? Like, oh, there's a creature in this room behind the boxes. And you're like, oh, so you start moving around the boxes, and then one of the boxes is like, oh, I got a creature in me. And you're like, oh, and then you take a picture and it's like, that's Jake, the box monster. You're like, okay, yeah. All right, Jake, what do you want? You want desserts. Okay. Now let me go find recipe cards around the house that are hidden around the house behind these little puzzles. So it's pretty cool. It's just like cutesy, spooky. It's a jobber. It's a jobber in that you have a job, which is to make these, to make the meals that these weird, spooky animals want. And you're like slowly unlocking more ingredients and more abilities and things to do and more areas to explore. So it's pretty good so far. I'll keep playing that.
Nice.
Last game I've been playing. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say 2 things. One, I did play that TR49. It says I have 15 minutes in it because I remember playing it and being like, I don't have fucking time for this puzzle game, and then stop playing it. It's January is when it says I last played it. And then Creature Kitchen, that was on the UPF because when I saw it on Steam, I remember it now, and that looked really interesting. I want to try it. Anyways, it's pretty chill. It's spooky though, but it's chill. There were a couple times where I was like you open the door to the pantry, and it's just a hallway with shelves, and there's food, and you just keep walking down the hallway, and you keep going, and it's like, oh, and the lights start acting weird, and then like things like fall off the shelf, and you just keep going down the hallway, and you're like, how fucking long is this pantry? And then you turn around, and the door's right there, and you're like, oh hell
what the fuck is happening?
Bowser staircase.
But yeah, but then you're just like, okay, they're not going to jump scare me. They're not going to do anything crazy. I'm okay. So it nails that aesthetic, that feeling very well. The last game I've been playing real quick, folks, I've been playing more ARMA Reforger. I came across Drewski videos, Operator Drewski videos on YouTube. He's got some great ones up that I hadn't seen yet. And I was watching these videos and I was like, man, I should play more ARMA. And I was like, yeah, but it's hard to get Will and Zach to play ARMA. It's hard to schedule with all of us. And I was like, why don't I just play ARMA by myself? Like Drewski plays a lot of ARMA by himself. And I was like, oh, well, I don't really like talking to strangers online. And you kind of have to with this game. And I was like, what if I just try and get over that? And so, folks, I've been playing a lot of ARMA online. And I've been trying to be on the mic and talk to strangers a little bit more to try and like, instead of just hopping online and being solo, to hop up and be like, hey guys, where are we going? Or like join the horde and be like, hang out with them. And it's pretty fun. There's a couple things that have changed or are different from when we played previously. Excuse me. Number one is, so Drewski had a video on this. The FIA faction, which is like the local militia faction, is now available in conquest mode. So there's the Soviets in the US. They've always been there. But the premise is that the Soviets and the US are fighting on this island, right? But the FIA are the local soldiers who live there on this island and are the militia. And the way they implemented it is the FIA cannot win the match and they cannot capture bases. But if they go into your base, if they go into an enemy base, whether it's the US or the Soviets, they can access the armory and take as many supplies and shit as they want. And while they're there, nobody can spawn at that base and nobody can capture that base. So it like,
that's
so
awesome.
So Drewski was showing this mode and he's like, he would just log in as FIA, and the FIA usually has less people. So if it's a 128 person server, you're usually like 60 Soviets, 60 Americans, and then like 8 people who want to be FIA. So it shows him on the server, and I don't know how the spawning works, but he pretty quickly was able to find the other FIA. So there's just like this roving gang of like 8 people in like weird camo, like, and Soviet and US weapons just rolling into these bases and just like killing whoever's there and then just like raiding the armory. And one of the things
That's
they really
awesome.
liked to do was they were like their whole thing is like, we just got to make it chaos. And so their whole thing was like, everybody grab a machine gun and an RPG. And if you see any helicopter, shoot at the helicopter. And so then the helicopter would fly towards the base, whether it's a US or Soviet helicopter, it would fly towards the base, and then everybody would just unload RPGs at it. And they just kept going to the armory and pulling fresh RPGs. So their whole thing is just like, we're going to go to the front line and just cause fucking chaos between these two groups. And it was just like literally like a roving gang of randos online just being like, yo, check it out, I found a Jeep. And they're like, fuck yes, we got a Jeep. And at one point he like snuck around and stole an enemy helicopter. And he had the enemy radio on him. So he's listening to them and he's like flying around pretending to be one of them. And then he starts rocketing them and they're like, yo, friendly fire. And he's like, it's not friendly. It's FIA, baby. They're like, fuck. And then they recognize him. They're like, fuck it, Drosky's here. Fuck you, Drosky. You know? So it's just like a chaos faction and it's a lot of fun. The other thing was we like to play a lot of PvE modes because PvP can be pretty sweaty. But PvE is fun. You know, there's a bunch of objectives around the map, and each objective has like usually like 20 or 30 enemy guys, enemy PvE, enemy NPCs, and then they're like squads doing patrol missions out in the world. Since they added mortars, that PvE mode has also added mortars to the enemy AI, the enemy NPCs. No. Yeah, and so sometimes you'll be taking a point and all of a sudden mortars will start hitting, and mortars are fucking terrifying because they can destroy buildings and shit. And then there's other times where those mortars are real, like they're real mortar pits that will spawn out in the world. So there was one time where we were in a helicopter. We were at a base. We started getting mortared, and then a helicopter came in, picked us up, and we took off. And we were telling the helicopter pilot, we were like, "Hey, we heard mortars. We think they're to the northwest. Like, fly northwest." And he flies northwest, and like 1,200 meters away, we spot in the open field these 3 mortars. These 3 like AI mortar pits. And so then we call in, we couldn't take them out because our helicopter wasn't armed. So we call in another helicopter and we're like, hey, Cass, we've got the mortar position. It's here. And we watched the friendly helicopter come in and just rocket the shit out of them. And it was fantastic. And the other thing I did was we saw these modes on before, but this was the first time I played it, are the zombie servers. And the premise with zombies is, it's similar to the PvE, but the zombies are unarmed. They're dressed like civilians, which is great. Love shooting civilians. And as far as I could tell, I don't think you have to get headshots to kill them, but they're pretty spongy. So it takes like 20 bullets to kill them, whereas a normal ARMA guy takes like 3. And so I loaded into this server, and it was my first time on the server, so I just had like the normal American kit, which is just like M16A2, and that's it. Everybody else is fully kitted out, and it's fucking midnight, so it's pitch black. Everybody else has night vision, and we're on this point, and everybody's standing on top of the tents. And I was like, I should probably get on top of one of the tents. So I get on top of one of the tents, and I turn on my like shitty little flashlight. Everybody else has like lasers and like better flashlights. And you just see these like shadows just come running at you from the forest, and you're like lighting them up, and you're like, ah! And it was really fun. And then later on in that match, I had one of the most like cinematic moments, which was we all loaded up in a helicopter at the main base, and the helicopter had 2 miniguns, and we start flying towards the objective, and it's nighttime. And the minigun just starts shooting at these zombie hordes on the map. And I turned off night vision. I went to third person, and it's just this helicopter spewing red tracers towards the ground. And some of the zombies are explosive. So they have this like, their chest is like this light red glow. So you see like some of those on the ground, and the helicopter's lighting them up, and you're just like, hell yeah. And then the guys on the ground are like, we're getting overrun. We need exfil. We need backup. And you're like, okay, we're going there. And we go there. And we spot the friendlies, and by that point the friendlies are down to like 3 people, and they're all running backwards, and there's a giant zombie horde coming towards them, and they're just getting overrun. And we park the helicopter, hop out of the helicopter, and I turn, and immediately there's another zombie horde, and I just unloaded with the machine gun, and then we all got overrun, and the helicopter got blown up, and it was just like fantastic. So ARMA Reforger continues to be an incredible game. I'm going to keep playing it, especially now that I've got a video and planning for it. So I'm recording a lot of it too. Just an incredible game. I love it. We should play some more. It's great.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I want to check it out. I've been playing video games. One of those is called Forbidden Solitaire. This is a game that came out a bit earlier this year. It is a, I don't know, linear, immersive, suspense, creepy sort of game. It is played in the desktop of another, like you boot the game up and you're in a person's desktop, and then you're like, you can see their text messages and stuff, and then you're loading into the game, and like everything's diegetic in there. You are playing this game called Forbidden Solitaire, which is a game that was made in canon in like the 80s, and then was banned by like Satanist group, or not Satanist groups, Christian groups and stuff like that. You found a copy of it and you're playing it. Your brother or sister, I think it's your sister, is emailing you. This game was twice as creepy because the main character's name is Will, so all the things were addressed to Will. So it doubled down for me. But you're getting all these messages from your sister Emily, who is messaging you about like researching it and all this creepy stuff that's happened around the game and everything. There are a lot of references to, like, your name's Will Roberta and they're Emily. I can't think of the name now, but it's a reference to Roberta Williams and the Sierra people. And then there's later on there were a couple of other names that were definite references that I remember, but I just can't remember them right now. Basically, the Forbidden Solitaire game is you are traveling to this forbidden land to learn a power. You go through this dungeon. Each of the dungeon floors corresponds to a deck of cards, or a suit of cards. You were playing solitaire in the sort of classic, the next number coming off the board. You're revealing the solitaire things like solitaire, but it's more like mahjong, where like they're all arranged in different ways. The more cards you get in order, the bigger your combo gets when you're fighting enemies. So there's puzzle solitaire games where you're trying to solve a puzzle. You're basically uncovering spots that, like, oh, I need to get through this door, let me lockpick it, and you're uncovering all the way to the lockpick secret and getting through it that way. And then the other ones are combat, where you're defeating an enemy, you're building up your combo to then hit them with an attack. They can hit you back. You can play certain cards to get shields, other cards to build up your mana, because then you can hit the mana button and it like lightning strikes a bunch of your solitaire cards to get rid of them. And then you also have jokers, which are like, here's a wild card, here's a card that destroys 5 cards in like a meteor strike, here's a card, there are all sorts of different things, like one that'll get rid of all of them in a row. There's cards that'll reshuffle the board, and also in the combat one, if you're like getting low, so every time you clear a board, if you clear a board in the puzzle one, you've solved the puzzle. If you clear a board in the combat one, it places a new board down because you still have to defeat the enemy. Mm-hmm. But you also have these reshuffles at any time to replace the board. So if you're running down, you have like 3 cards left and you don't want to keep clicking over to get a new card and a new card, you can just reshuffle the whole board and then try to get another combo to go together.
Gotcha.
Very simple, very linear. This is not a Balatro or any of those other games where you're just generating these and going through a run. It is a linear story of you going through this dungeon and playing these puzzles. It's not, I don't know if there's like an endless mode or something in it, but it's not like replayable levels. You're going through the dungeon, following the story, uncovering everything. Your sister's text messaging you. You're getting all this creepy stuff about the game, your videos, news reels, emails, and you're going through all the way to the end. You get these gem power-ups the whole time that go on your hand, but it just shows them being embedded into your hand in the game. God. It's so gross. It's really fun. It's so hard to judge these types of games nowadays that aren't, endless games that you can play forever. Yeah. But I super enjoyed the experience. I'd rate it around like 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, just going through it, the solitaire's fun. It's not overcomplicated. It's not you're sitting there for hours being like, oh, is it this next thing? There were a couple times where I'm like, oh, I can do this better, and like I reset the whole match, even though it doesn't matter. Like I'm not gonna fail and get, you can die and stuff like that. But are you okay, Ian? You look concerned. Oh, your audio's gone. I can't hear you anymore. You're dead. Did you die?
Sorry, I was actively putting this in my Steam cart, and my Steam UI was being a little weird. That's
it's
what
good.
The face
it's fun
because I heard I know Brad at Nextlander really loves this. I know Vinny likes it, and so for me it was like I know it's on sale, but I needed one more extra person to be like, yeah, absolutely play this, and that's what this sounds like.
Yeah.
So
but I just don't want to hype it too much. Like I want to clarify, like it is a linear. You're going through it, and it's fun, and I had a good time with it.
Yeah, this is in a bundle with Titanium Court, and Titanium Court is one of those games where I'm like,
I've been meaning to play that.
I don't know about that one because people are like, it's amazing, and other people are like, the humor's not good. It's
a type of game I wouldn't listen to other people about.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. Just real quick, I don't know if you were aware of this, but Steam bundles, you don't have to buy both games at the same time. So, for example, I'm looking at a bundle that's Titanium Court and Forbidden Solitaire. I could buy that bundle right now, or I could just buy Forbidden Solitaire, and if I ever buy Titanium Court in the future, it'll automatically discount it to the bundle price because I already have the other game in the bundle.
I forget what I bought recently, but they were like, hey, this game's bundled with Inscription, but you own Inscription, so here's the bundle price for the game.
Oh, it's Forbidden Solitaire because I'm literally doing that right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
So long story short, sorry, I said that because I don't have to decide about Titanium Court right now to get the bundle price. If I buy it in the future, I'll get the bundle price. Okay. Thank you, Daddy.
So yeah, Forbidden Solitaire recommended. The acting's a bit iffy on it. I think it's that. Is it Zalaviar? I know it's Nelson.
Yeah. Yeah, Zalaviar.
He's the, I don't know if he wrote it as well, but he's like the main guy in it, and his acting's okay. It's not great. The lady's acting's quite good, or at least better. But you gotta a bit suspend disbelief. They're they have like protesters at one scene, which is quite fun.
Yeah,
and like a newsreel and stuff. Those are good. Okay, RV there yet? We played last week or this week, Tuesdays. I really like that game. Karen also really liked that game. She can't stop talking about it. She can't stop talking about how at the very end she launched you into the air further than it was very funny. This is a friend slop game where you are driving an RV from one spot to another spot on a map. You have winches on the RV. The RV can lose pieces. You got to get scrap metal to fix it up. It is a manual RV. You can't quite see perfectly.
Can I say something?
Yes.
It's not that friend slop isn't the right. It's that I think this is a peak-like, because if I may take me on this journey here, lethal content and content warning and all those, they don't really have that much of a sense of progression per se. There's a tiny bit of it where it's like, oh, we have more money, or like, oh, we bought this stereo now. But I feel like what this does really well with Peak is that there is like literally like a geographic progression, like you're making your way through the map, but you're also getting items that upgrade your core abilities. Like we got a bunch of ramps now that make the RV easier to work with. In Peak, it's like I've got a bunch of berries in a backpack and things like that. So it's like within the friend slop genre, this definitely feels more like Peak than any of the others in a good way.
Yeah. I'd still call it friend slop though.
Yeah, you're right. I just, in my head, I was like, it's almost like there needs to start being a sub for peak like friend slop, because that's becoming its own folder.
Yeah. It's fun. It's cheap. I think it's funny. I bought it for Extra Life last year because we were maybe going to play it, and we didn't. And it's fun. You smoke to run faster, and you drink beer to be stronger. That's a fun little thing. Yeah.
Is that? Oh, I thought we were just doing that for fun.
No, you smoke to be faster and you drink to be stronger.
That's funny. I didn't even think about it. I was just having too much fun smoking and drinking.
The other thing is like it's not like it never felt like, oh, we should probably reset. Like the whole game was like, we can get out of this. There's no issue. Like there was never a point where I'm like, how are we going to get through this? Like nothing was stressful. Everything was pretty easy to get through. Yeah, pushing the RV.
pushing the RV is a perfect example of like you can walk up to the RV and push it and nudge it, and it moves more than you would think.
Yes.
Which is great. They're like, yeah, push it. You'll be able to really nudge it a foot and just
cartoony
mess
Mud
with
Runner, where Mud Runner and those
Yeah.
types of games can be stressful sometimes when you're just stuck. This was more like, oh, we can get out of anything and we'll be fine. So that was quite fun. I liked RV there yet. Also, the name's quite good. And then it was fishing week last week on giantbomb.com, and we played web fishing at the end of the week. This is a social fishing game where it's basically the fishing from Animal Crossing if it was an entire game. And there's a lot more to this game than I thought there was. I thought it would just be I fish and catch things, but it's you fish, you catch things, you upgrade your fishing license, you get different types of bait, you can get a private island to go to fish on, you can get all sorts of different types of fish, there's quests, you can send letters to each other, you can talk to each other. The game is no longer being, I found out about this after the fact, the game isn't updated anymore. I guess there's a lot of LGBTQ stuff in it and pride stuff, and there was a whole thing where people were like, where's the straight representation, which go fuck yourself.
Yeah, well, their month is over. Everyone's straight now. Okay, that's why I'm wearing this. It's straight month, baby. It's straight month. You had your pride month, but it's back to straight year. Okay.
I was watching King of the Hill, and they go, oh, happy Valentine's Day, Connie. She goes, it's Black History Month. Just kidding. Happy Valentine's Day. And I went, that is the best joke I've ever heard. Anyways, so they apparently, unfortunately, the developer got doxxed and they no longer work on the game, which sucks. If you care that much about that in a video game, you should kill yourself, I think.
Yes. It's some pixel approved suicide.
Yeah, for bastards.
As we hit our 63rd minute about talking about video games.
Yeah, like fuck those people. What's wrong with you? But web fishing is super fun. I kept catching all the big fish. So I would like catch something huge, everybody would be like, whoa, and then other people catch marlins and stuff. And then we were out on I unlocked a private island. So I like placed it down and we just all went to the private island, which is just this little island in the middle of nowhere. Plenty of Epstein jokes. And then I caught a fucking whale. And it filled the entire screen.
Oh my God. Should I watch this stream?
You should watch this stream because I'm quite, that's where Come Pussy comes from. I'm quite funny in this stream. God. I sent Grub the entire Bible in a letter.
My biggest fear is that some pixel humor is slowly going to bleed into giant pop humor until we get them canceled, and it's going to be our fault.
I say the composty thing, and Chuck goes, "Will just says whatever he wants," and I go, "God made me without a filter."
All right, I'll watch that stream.
Yeah, it was very fun. Yeah, so web fishing, I highly recommend. It's like $5 or something on Steam. It's very relaxing. It's just like a nice, hey, let's play this game and chat with each other, catch fish, and it's not like you're getting bored. Like you're always catching fish, but you're just you're gaining abilities on your rod. You're catching different types of fish. You're completing quests. It's just like fun, you know. I had a really, really good time with it. So highly recommend web fishing. Someone was commenting on the Discord, Giant Bomb Discord, that there's other games have popped up now that this developer is no longer working on it, with a couple other ones, because apparently people were really like going into servers for like just chatting with randos, getting their dollar therapy and being like, hey, I just need to express my problems, like, and people were helping each other out, which is great. Like, I love that sort of thing. And then fucking absolute numbskulls ruin it, but it's cool. Apparently there's the one warning is don't join like random servers, because apparently there's a lot of malware and stuff. So like make your own server
through the game
and stick to it, and be with your friends. So highly recommend web fishing. The final game, folks, the final game. Ian's going to be real happy about this one. He's going to come as little panties. I have been playing Shapes 2, the sequel to Shapes.
It's 1.0 now. I've been thinking about it too because they added a new mode.
So good. I like it. Good. I don't think it's a better game than Factorio, but I like it more than Factorio because I have my little assignments and I know what I need to do, and I need to get through those assignments, and I don't have to stress about everything else. Also, you may call me a maniac. What?
I know another reason why you love it, because it is not a crafting game.
Yes.
So
just build whatever.
As you're blueprinting and putting things down, it's literally just Control C, Control V. It's pasted. You don't have to have bots to build it. You don't have to build it. This game is like, no, it's not about crafting shit. It's about laying things out, and they're built immediately, and that feels really good.
And for quite a long time, I didn't realize I could build more platforms. I've been getting real cozy with all those machines, and when I finish one of the tracks, I just delete all the machines. I don't need them anymore. They're not building that shit anymore.
Yeah, sometimes, early game, you don't really have to.
Exactly. And once you finish a specific, I'm not deleting all the miners, but I don't need that specific built thing anymore. So I can just go back to the raw resources. I have a plan in my head where, now that I know I can build all these platforms, out of every single thing, I just want to break, I want it to mine into a platform that breaks it down into each corner piece, and then just spit each corner piece out.
Yeah.
And then I can just drag them all over the map.
Because now that you can build platforms, if I remember correctly, you can copy paste blueprint entire platforms,
which is what I did.
So I was like, hey, this platform takes a shape and splits it into 4 parts. Yeah. And then it's just boom. It's
been so much fun. I know the next thing I unlock will be painting. I can color the things now, so I don't have to worry about harvesting the correct color. I can then dye it. So I'm really looking forward to that. The game gives me a little bit of stress where I sit down to play and I'm like, I only have an hour. I don't know if I want to start this big project. But it is the freedom to just copy paste things, the freedom to just delete things, and I don't have to worry about losing resources or losing stuff that's on the belts. It's just very reassuring that it's okay, I can sit here and build out the whole thing and spit all these shapes into the giant vortex in the middle. I'm really enjoying it. Shapes 2, it was on, or it's still on sale. Yeah, the sale's till the 9th. It's a game I've wanted to play for quite a while. And I honestly didn't know it was this friendly to the way I wanted to play it. So, really looking forward to playing more of it.
It's great.
It's as much as I lament not wanting to start a big project in it. It is easy to just I got 10 minutes before work. Let me just pop some shapes into things. It's also easily scalable. And on the same side, it's this thing's just going to slowly dump stuff into the vortex for the next hour. Let me work on something else. I don't feel the need to I need to get production up to the maximum to fill the 8,000 that the vortex needs. It's no, I can just leave it running there. I don't have to do something else.
And you're playing classic mode, right?
Mm-hmm. I think my goal...
I was just looking it up. The new mode they added is manufacture mode for 1.0. And they call this mode aims to resolve much of the feedback all of you gave. Okay, I can skip that. Addition of trade stations that need to continuously convert a specific shape into a brand new shape type. Your factories will no longer lose their purpose. So this feels like something where it's less complete this task. Okay, restart, new task. Not that you're fully restarting, but it feels like this is you're having to constantly progress and build on top of what you had previously to keep it all going. So I'm excited to check that out.
I think what I'm going to do the next time I have a couple hours to just sit down and play, I'm going to wipe that inner vortex board and just move all my factories outside of it and just have that vortex the spaghetti lines to feed it. I think that's the easiest thing.
Because the thing you probably hit with the vortex, what I hit was mid to late game, was I started running out of lanes availability to throw things into the vortex. And so I had to make more space there.
So as you're building factories, the last piece of the factory tells you what you're building, which is awesome. It shows what you're building, and then it shows you it has a little check mark if that's a thing that's in your thing to build, and then it also has a little flag that I couldn't figure out what it meant, but it has the flag if it's something that goes towards a milestone or is in the next part of your thing.
Next one.
So I have stuff I've built that doesn't have anything anymore, and I know I can safely delete it because I don't need, that's not part of any future things. So it's very helpful.
I played it pre 1.0, and that sounds like a new addition, because I would have moments where I would put a factory together and I'd have to kind of wait to the end to be like, okay, did I make it right? And I'd have to compare it. That's one of the things that makes this game great is that they're constantly updating it, and it's just a shitload of quality of life stuff like that. It's really, really good.
It's so much fun. If you like any sort of factory building game, highly recommend Shapes 2. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be super long, so I'm excited to get into it, and just the learning curve was like nothing, which is so nice. It's just like, hey, here's a thing that rotates, here's a thing that drops the thing on top of the other thing, and then it's just iterations of that. Hey, you want to cut stuff in half and destroy one side? Do you want to cut stuff in half and separate it? Do you want to cut stuff in half and swap them? It's just like, oh, here's all the like 50 different ways I can put something together. And I haven't really felt there's like blueprints and stuff, but I haven't felt the need to be like, oh, I like this is the iteration I want. I like get that enjoyment of having 2 inputs and throwing it through the whole thing. And yeah, it's so easy to use. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, that's Shapes 2. And that's the show, I think. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Godzilla's mic to work, but he's holding a plane there. He seems to be having fun. He's liking it. He's been playing. Oh man, that Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. There's a remaster coming out in November. I'm very excited about that. I was like, fuck yeah, the game just for me, and all my sickos. The only good fighting game I've heard. People have said that. Many people are saying that. Shout out to everyone watching this live at the Great American State Fair. Hopefully the stage hasn't fallen apart anymore.
I'm so mad. If I still lived in Baltimore, I would have gone. For sure.
I know, it would have been a great Pixel 8.
It would have been incredible. It would have been so good.
You hear about the North Carolina booth that just has Confederate flags? It's just like,
no, I didn't hear that.
And it's apparently not affiliated with North Carolina. They're just people from North Carolina manning the booth.
Oh, yeah. What's the Daughters of the Confederacy?
I kept seeing pictures from it, and it reminds me of a lamer Columbia from BioShock Infinite.
Yeah,
it's just the worst version of that.
I will say, and
Columbia's
there is one complaint. There is one complaint against the American State Fair that I think is so fucking stupid, which is the people who were like, it shows them walking up to one of the like the walls and being like, they didn't even build the wall right, and they walk up and the wall has like columns and a recessed part, and they walk up to the wall and they put their hand on it, and it's all an illusion. It's a printed illusion. They're like, they couldn't even build it right, and it's like, no, that's fucking cool. It's a temporary fair, and they're using optical illusions to make columns. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the only cool thing. Like, that's how you do it.
The only cool thing.
I can't believe they didn't build marble columns. Yeah, people are. That's when people find, like, there's so much funny that's bad with it. You're making up a stupid thing. Like exactly. Focus on the horrible. I'm just glad they charged that Olympian with destroying the reflecting pool.
There is part of me that's mad though, which is that the B-21 Raider, which is the next generation stealth bomber, hasn't been like super fully unveiled in public yet flying. And there were rumors for a couple days that during like the flyover for the 4th of July festivities on the mall, that the B-21 Raider was going to show up. But it feels like the rumors are now leaning towards, no, it's not going to be there. So that's like the one thing I have hope is that like the air show will have like the brand new. I'm okay. Look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring it up. So I didn't mean to go a little autistic there, but we could see. Look, China. We've already seen China. It was we saw it like a year and a half ago. What behind folks? Where's that stealth bomber? Where's that stealth bomber?
Where's that stealth bomber? No. Where's that Obama? Folks, that's going to be it for the show.
It's a great name. The B-21 Obama.
The B-21 Obama.
That's so good.
It's a good name. Folks, subpixelfilms.com is where you can find all of our content. Patreon.com/subpixel is where you can sign up for our Patreon. It's absolutely free. You get everything. If you want to give us money, we'll put your names in lights. We'll put your name in lights, baby. But you get the newsletter that just came out. You get the roadmap. You get to know when this podcast hits the podcast feeds. You get to see all the nudes. You get Ian's face. What are you looking at?
Folks, tonight, Will and I will be venturing into my first Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, God, I have to be back here.
Hold you to it.
That'll be fun. Kingdom Hearts 3, it's tonight. And then happy 4th of July to those who celebrate in the States. Next week, we've got some fun stuff planned. Yeah, that's about it. I think we're both taking some time off this month. We've got next. Oh, that song ended fast. Bye, everyone. Have a great.
Bye.
Have a great time. Bye. I miss you.